Yeah.
Welcome back, Wilbury Overland. Glad you guys are here. Today we are going to be putting an awning on the Smittybilt Scout. Also, I don't even think Lydia, the official camera woman for Wilbury Overland, knows this, but we have given the Smittybilt a name. Lydia, do you know what the name is?
No.
The Traveling Wilbury. Come on now. Come on now. Awesome. All right, so this awning is a nomadic, let's get this right, a nomadic 270-degree awning. It's gonna go up on the rooftop tent and be able to wrap around so that when I am cooking, I will be able to be shaded. And also when I am just looking for some shade whenever we're camping. So first I've gotta show you, it comes with all the stuff here. Most of this is mounting bracket stuff. They kind of had to make a bunch of different options so that, you know, depending on how you were gonna mount it. Overland Vehicle Systems is the manufacturer for this. They're also the manufacturer of my rooftop tent. So kind of work together. But they provide these massive heavy duty brackets that are going to work here. You've got these nice T-slots where you'll be able to just slide it in. But first I've got to figure out how am I going to mount these massive brackets onto the trailer, and I've already kind of worked that out. So let's take a look. All right, to make this thing work, the big L brackets are going to have to fit onto another bracket, and luckily for me, I already have 4 of these. So I don't even know what these things are, but they were already installed on here. There's some sort of bracket, and I'm gonna put the awning on that. So I'm going to move it over here.
Ah yes, moving it over there. This will turn out to be an absolutely massive mistake.
In order to fit it onto this T-slot though, I have had to take off the latch. The problem with that is this. I realized this after I took it off. I'm not gonna be able to put the latch back on right here because if I've got the entire awning right along here, I won't be able to open this back up. So I'm going to put the latches on the front, and I hope that that works. We will see, we'll see. But in the meantime, these brackets are gonna work out great. And yeah, so let's see a little bit of me taking the brackets off for a second here.
Really couldn't be happier with the Mamba 3 tent from Overland Vehicle Systems. Super customizable, super easy. As you can see here, I'm just moving latches and brackets and things around. The T-slots on here make it super easy and really versatile. I intend to do a full-blown review of the Mamba 3 tent here later, but in the meantime, yeah, you can see here that it's just a matter of unscrewing some things and screwing some other things on.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so now we've got the latches. These are for the ladder, and these are for the awning, all on the same side. Hope it all works. I think it will. But another thought crossed my mind, which is this. If I hang the awning from here, then I will be smacking my face on it. So next part of this process, we're gonna bump this thing up a couple of knots here, and I've got my handy dandy floor jack. We're gonna try that right now. So here we go. I'm sure there's a better way to do this than the way I've done it, but I just borrow a floor jack, jack up one side, bolt it in, and then do the other side. It's worked for me so far. Now, unlike the Mamba tent, the installing of the brackets, this took for freaking ever, and I will openly admit this is totally my fault. If I'd have just bit the bullet from the beginning and just taken the tent off of the rhino rack on top of the trailer, this would have been a lot easier. But I didn't do that. I tried to make it fit in between the very narrow, and I did finally get it done, but it was a bloody nightmare, and it ended up being fruitless, as you will find out here in just a minute. This is a rhino rack. I've got 2 bolts inside the rhino rack down here, and then I run this thing up here like this. I'm thinking about moving this bolt down one. That would make it so that, because the awning either has to fit these 2 or these 2 bolts. So I was able to make it work by bolting it. I feel like that's enough without this one up here feel like the awning would be able to bend and it would jack up the T-slots inside the vinyl rack, and I don't want to do that. So with this up here, I feel like it's being held that way and it's being held that way, and I can do it 1, 2, 3 times and then just mount it directly on. All right, it's a couple days later. This is taking so much longer than I thought. Not the installation, but putting these things on here. I was gonna do 3, but the tent is just cockeyed enough that I can't reach. Here, bring it over here. I can't reach up in here and have the bolts actually be straight. That's as hard in as I can push it, and it's a mess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this one over and I'll just mount it on 2. It really only needs 2. So, all right. Here we go again. All right, I just realized, pardon the whiteness up here. We're redoing our house and they've been cutting the stones, and then it rained, so it looks like a bunch of pigeons shat all over my tent, but it's just dust. Anyways, I'll go wash that off. Okay, so I've got these on, finally. That took so long, trying to get that up in there and then gently put it on. I didn't want to take the tent off. At this point, it probably would have been faster if I'd have taken off the tent, but anyways, they're on. These things are on here. They're not going anywhere.
That's not going anywhere.
They're tight. So now the next move is over here. All right, come here, Lid. All right, so here's the actual shade structure. All I've got to do is I just slide the bolts into the T-slots here and then lift it up, come over here. Just get the bolts inside here, bolt it on, and really I made a very simple project into a very time-consuming one, but that's kind of my move.
He stopped short? That's my move.
And like I said in a previous episode, the original name of this channel was Oblivious Overlander because I don't know what the freak I'm doing, but anyways, I got it done. Yeah, it's only stupid if it doesn't work. All right, I've got it all done. It's all nutted up. So I got this idea actually from another YouTuber, and I liked it a lot. So what they did was they put ratcheting straps up, and then they put the awning up on top of it, and then they ratcheted up the awning so they can gently loosen it down. I don't have to have somebody holding it up while I am tightening it on. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the awning up on top of here, ratchet it up, and then slowly let it down until the nuts line up with the holes. So here we go. It's funny and interesting editing this after you've seen yourself make, a pretty big mistake. But, I look so full of hope, and I was young and naive, and anyways, this will turn out to be a ton of work that I'm doing here that I end up having to undo. But for the record, the ratcheting strap idea worked great. Anyways. You ever put in just hours of your time, tons of work, only to realize you did all of it wrong and you got to start completely over? That is where I'm at. All right, so when I purchased this thing, it was, probably in November of last year, October. We're now into February. No, we're into March. We're into March of this year. And when I purchased this in February or in October or November or whenever I bought it, I purchased it thinking to myself, I'll put this on the driver's side. Now I've forgotten that. And who cares? Driver's side, passenger side, I'll put it on whatever side I want. Well, it turns out it matters which side you put it on, because when you put it on the wrong side, the hinges are on the wrong side. And so now, instead of the hinges covering the back, which is precisely what I wanted, it covers the front, which does nothing for me. And so while the awning is beautiful and it comes out wonderfully and the construction looks awesome, it is... Lily! It's on the wrong side. So, not only have I got to completely redo this whole project and put it on the other side, I've also come to another conclusion. Come under here, Liddy. Look at me. It's not nearly tall enough. Now, we have a problem with it not being tall enough. Go back out. Here we go. The problem is this. I have maxed out the Smittybilt factory height for these. So, the dilemma. I really want this, and I really don't want to bang my head on it. So I am going to increase the height of this. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have to go get some square tubular whatever metal, and I'm going to have a buddy weld on it for me. And in order to do that, I've got to take the rooftop tent off. So now I'm taking off the rooftop tent, I'm taking off the awning. I'm going to take these bars off. I'm going to lengthen these out another 6 inches or so, and then we'll be good. Yeah, there's probably someone that's going to watch this and is going to be screaming that, man, it's too tall, or the weak point in the metal is going to be where the weld is, or whatever. I don't know. I weigh like 230 pounds. My kids will get up in there with me. I just don't think that we're going to be doing so much wear and tear on this that it's going to make that big of a difference. But I'm around here too. So by installing it over on this side, we'd have to go up higher anyway, because I really like where this is at. It's right close to where I've got the grill. It's right close to an opening that I've got over here when I want to run the buddy heater. So it's got to be taller. Got to be taller either way. So we're going to lengthen these by about 6 inches. And I'm going to take this off. Here we go. All right. So the original plan was, once we took the racks off, that I would go and find steel to extend the length of the rack to make the rack taller. But that is 1 5/8 inch in diameter, and apparently that is an odd size. I don't know anything about this. I went to a steel manufacturer in Hurricane, Utah.
In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
Not hurricane. And they said that is not common. But I had another thought, because I'm not giving up on this because I really want it to be taller. My next thought was I could lengthen the sleeve. This is a 2-inch diameter piece of tubular steel. I figured if I made it taller and just welded along the outside here, I'd end up with the same result, right? And so it's taller. That doesn't bother me at all. And so ordered it. It was sent. 6-inch piece. There's actually not a ton to it. The walls of this thing are like 1/8 of an inch, if that, wide. But it'll fit just right on top of these. And so I've got to go, come right here. I'm gonna have to drill some holes into it, probably right about up here, and do the same hole all the way around. And then I'll have my buddy come and we'll just weld all the way around it. This little tiny project that was supposed to be done weeks ago is turning out to be the biggest project we've done so far on this. But once these are on, the rack goes back on. Once the rack is back on, we've got the tent back on. Once the tent's back on, we can finally put the awning on. So here we go. Yeah, this is an old hand-me-down drill press, and it worked good enough. I mean, I needed just to drill some holes so that I could plug and play, and it nailed it. So yeah, here we go. We get this, and then we take it over to the welder. Yeah, big shout out to my buddy Gary. You can see him here cleaning off the paints and the edges of everything so that you can get a clean, nice, beautiful weld. He also notched it out, if you look right there, to make it so that this thing just sits completely plumb right on top of it. And then he put a little tack on there, welded all the way around the whole thing, and then I took the kids over to the self-service car wash and cleaned it off. But here you get a good look at the weld right there. Looks great. Yeah, he did a really, really great job. And then, because I have absolutely no chill, I brought over the boys that night. We got the rack back reinstalled, did a 3-man lift on getting this rooftop tent on here. We got that sucker thrown up on top of the trailer, and without further ado, here's how it looks when it is all wrapped up and it is on the trailer. Got it hooked right into the rooftop tent and some brackets, and it is fancy. It's on there. It's sturdy. So just zipped up inside of a pretty heavy-duty vinyl case. And held in by 2 Velcro straps. And a really heavy-duty hinge on it. And it's up. And it's freestanding. You can lower some legs that it's got on it. And those just go down there. I'm planning a trip to the north side of the Grand Canyon with my family here in a couple of weeks. I'll take you. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be our first big adventure with it. We'll see if when I'm cooking under here, if it traps all of the smoke and it just becomes a horrible idea. But anyways, it also comes with a bunch of guy wires that we can send down and we can tack it into the ground. I'd prefer to just have it be freestanding like this. But a quick review of the awning, you can see here it's got the ability to put sides on it, so you can really turn this into more of a shelter than just an awning. Like that. I like this whole thing though. It's heavy duty. It clearly is designed to last. This is not, it doesn't feel janky at all. It feels like this is something that we're going to be able to use for a long time. So anyways, that's it. That is the Overland Expeditions awning, 270 degrees, and we're going to be doing a much more comprehensive review on it after I've taken it out and we've got a chance to actually see how it works. But thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.